Explore a path of serenity and inner balance as you dive into the universe of yoga with us. Join us in the online yoga course with Sadhguru. Sign up to experience the transformative benefits of yoga. The link is in the description.
So look at it this way, because you can't really figure what all these people want. Look at yourself. Right now you're thinking you want to become an engineer. Let's say right now I make you an engineer, this moment. Then you're thinking you need a job, I got your job. Then you're thinking you need a promotion, I got you. Then you think you need an award, I got you. Then you think you need wealth, I got you right now. Everything that you can dream of, I got you right now. What do you want now? Yeah, I can do that for you.
Let's say I want a job.
Huh?
I'm striving for a job right now.
Yes. Now, we are looking at the end game, right? You got everything you wanted right now. Things that you can imagine, things that you cannot imagine right now, everything you got right now. What do you want right now?
I wouldn't know what to do.
Just look at it, huh? See, when you say this, what it means is, all you want in your life, what you're seeking is struggle. To get a job, it must take 3 years, then you will feel, wow, I got a job. Look at all the people who have good jobs, look at them walking on the street. Are they going blissfully, dripping ecstasy? Hello? Miserable guys, they're getting blood pressure, going to work. They're getting all kinds of ailments, they're freaking out. Yes? So what do you want? Is there a girl here? What do you want?
I don't know anymore.
That's good. I do not know, I like that. Because actually you do not know. Everybody keeps fooling themselves at every step in their life, thinking, what I want is, I want to become an engineer, I want to become an engineer. It'll keep you busy for 5-7 years. Then I want job, it keeps you busy for another 1 or 2 years. Then I want this kind of job, that keeps you busy for another 8-10 years. I want that much money, that much wealth, that keeps you busy for another 25 years. I want this kind of girl, that kind of boy, that keeps you busy for a few years. Then children will come, I want my child to become this. Well, we are preparing for your funeral. You need to understand just this. Right now, you may be giving all kinds of contexts to your life. But essentially, what you call as my life right now is just a certain combination of time and energy. Yes? As you sit here, time is rolling away for all of us. Can you roll it back? You're an engineer. Can you roll it back? Yesterday was not fruitful, so I'll roll it back. Can you? It's rolling away for all of us. As we sit here, what is ticking away here is not the clock. What is ticking away is our life, isn't it? Since we came and sat here, you're half an hour closer to your grave. It doesn't matter how young you are getting there, isn't it? Yes or no? So it's a certain amount of time, and that time Nobody can manage because it rolls at the same pace for everybody. You do something, you don't do anything, you sleep, you're awake, you're happy, you're unhappy, do whatever the hell you want, it just keeps rolling mercilessly, isn't it? So there is energy that you call as life. This, you can pitch it at different levels. If you're like this, I'm talking about the classroom expression, you know. If you're like this, 24 hours feel like 1,000 years. But have you seen on a certain day you're very happy, 24 hours, poof, went off like a moment? Yes or no? So, time is a very relative experience in individual subjective experiences. If you're joyful, if you live 100 years, it feels like a few moments, it's gone. Only miserable people will have a long life. Because if you're miserable, you'll always feel life is too long that you will want to cut it short. But if you're joyful, the possibility that a human being holds, before you look around, it's over, really. But what possibility this carries? So what you need to manage is your energies, because life is a certain amount of energy, it's not limitless, but it can be enhanced. If you function at one level of energy, what you do in 10 years' time, if you function at a different level of energy, the same thing you can do in 1 year's time. So if both people live for 100 years, in terms of impact and profoundness of experience, one has lived for 1,000 years, another has lived for 100 miserable years. So this is all you can do. You may think right now, engineer, this one, that one, these are all limited contexts you're setting for yourself. Fundamentally as a life, it's just time and energy, isn't it? The question is what you make out of it. Do you want to make something out of it? There's no compulsion you have to make something out of it. When I say making something out of it is not a social phenomena I'm talking. What should you become in the society? That's not what I'm talking. Fundamentally, you have come here in terms of life is you want to experience life. Question is how profoundly. Right now, if people want to experience life, what are they experimenting with? They will experiment… not this, this. Yeah, I know you guys. Or they'll experiment this, or they'll experiment something else. What they will experiment is how to down your faculties. You know, United States has made marijuana legal in a few states. So when I went to a few colleges or universities, they're asking me, Sadhguru, why don't you pitch? Someone like you must legalize marijuana for us. I said, no problem, we'll make marijuana legal, cocaine legal, meth legal. What's the problem? No problem. Only thing is, why is it that you want it to be legal? So that you can smoke up and come to the college, right? It's fine. But let's say you want to fly a small airplane, the pilot comes smoked up. You want to fly with him? Because the guy is already flying without the airplane. Okay, you're not getting the point. You need a major surgery and the surgeon comes smoked up. You want the surgery? Oh no. Then you clearly understand this lowers your faculties. I want all of you to look at this. Do you believe you can enhance life by lowering your faculties? Hello? If you want to enhance this life, you must super enhance your faculties. That's the only and only way you can enhance this life. You cannot lower your faculties and think your life is getting enhanced. What kind of stupidity is that? Simply because it makes you a little like this. I can make you feel like this all the time. How's that? No substance, I'm always like this only. Look at my eyes, I'm stoned. Yeah. Never touch a substance but fully stoned all the time. Because I want you to understand this, the greatest chemical factory on the planet is here. If you are a good manager of this, you can create any experience that you want from within and also heighten your faculties. If you are having an experience, even to experience that, your faculty should be heightened, isn't it? Is this the greatest chemical factory on the planet, most sophisticated? Do you agree with me? Are they chemical engineers? So I'm asking, how are you managing your system? What have you done? We gave you such a sophisticated machine. Have you read the user's manual at least? No. Blindly do this and then you think pumping something is going to make this better? No. Believe me, the only and only way you can enhance this life is that your faculties are super bright. The way you see, the way you hear, the way you smell, the way you taste and the way you touch. If this is enhanced, is life enhanced in many ways? There is much more to it. But I'm saying from what you know from your experience, suppose you could see twice better than somebody who's sitting next to you, is your life enhanced? If you could taste better than other people, is life enhanced? If you could feel better, is it life enhanced? If you could hear better, is life enhanced? On this level you understand this, but there are many other dimensions of human faculties. If you enhance this, if you sit here, you will be blissed out simply sitting here. You wouldn't want to touch any damn thing because just sitting here is the greatest experience of your life. So, about what is the end game? If you had everything, what would you want? If you had everything that you can ever dream of, everything is right here, what would you want? You must think, isn't it? I won't supply you with an answer. If you do not invest that much thought into your life, that means you're super short-sighted. Hello? This happened to Gautama the Buddha. You heard of Gautama the Buddha? Because of some astrological prediction that his father heard, that he may either become a great emperor or a great sage, and he wanted him to become a great emperor, he protected this boy and put him in a separate palace where it's all luxury, everything that you can dream of, everything there. Got him married to a very pretty young woman, everything on. No, he should not see any suffering. But one day he just went out. He saw one old man and he asked, why is this guy like this? His chauffeur. His chauffeur or his chariot driver said, oh, everybody becomes like that after a certain time. He said, what, me? I'm a young prince, will I become like that? Hey, yeah, everybody will become like that. It shook him. Then he saw a man who's suffering with some kind of disease, ailment. So why is that guy like that? Said, it'll happen to a lot of people. Who it will hit, there is no prediction. Anybody can become ill. Most people think it happens to other people. No, it can happen to us. Hello? And then he saw a funeral, a dead body. What is that? He said, that is inevitable, everybody will die. Do you also know? You will also die? No, because most people believe other people die. No, intellectually they know, but they think they are forever. No, you must be conscious, you're mortal. Mortal means you have a limited amount of time and energy. If you're always conscious about this, how would you organize your time and energy? You decide. You're conscious about it. If you think you're a superhuman being, you're not going to die, other people will die, all the best. It'll come. You can realize this on your deathbed and die. See, people may think this is extreme, but you must go and volunteer in a hospice or in a hospital wards where people die, and you must see. It's very important, very, very important. Only then you become sensitive to life. Life becomes super valuable because you know it's a limited amount of time. If you watch this, unfortunately today in the world, over 80% of the people, when they… last moment when it comes, when they die, they're not fearful, they're not in pain, they're not in something else, they're just bewildered. A look of bewilderment comes because all their life they just lived their thought and emotion, they never lived a life. This is important, you must understand, there is a psychological reality in your head and there is an existential reality which is life. Most people are mistaking their psychological reality to be existential. Your thought and emotion has become more significant in the cosmos, isn't it? Hello? Huh? What you think, what nonsense you think and feel, has it become more important than the universe or no? This means you are making your creation more significant than the larger creation. This means you must suffer. If you don't suffer, I'll be disappointed. Yes, I will be. Because if ignorance doesn't make you suffer, then what? Then what's the use of me? Because it takes a lot to come out of the trap. What is the use of somebody striving to come out of the trap of ignorance when people can live wonderfully in their ignorance? What is the point? What is the use of knowledge? What is the use of knowing? What is the use of enlightenment? What is the use of realization if people can live absolutely blissfully in their ignorance? What is the point? When you're ignorant, you must suffer. And I want you to know, the greatest evil right now on the planet is not evil, it's ignorance.
See that there were many signs of opening. Walls were coming down. Many initiatives were taken to open up the world, which I think brought many benefits. If we look around the world now, there are many signs of closure. Walls are being constructed, there are many policy measures being taken by many governments, closing borders to persons, closing borders to goods. I wonder if I may ask how you see all this?
See, yes, it's true, you're seeing that as a global situation, but we need to understand this. Bringing down walls without bringing down economic disparity is not going to work. When we brought down walls, then itself we should have understood that we must strive to bring down disparity in the world. No man or woman wants to leave their home and go somewhere else to some strange land and live there just for survival. Nobody wants to do that. But it is estimated that in the next decade, there could be about 1.7 to 1.8 billion people moving or migrating. When that many people start migrating, your wall is not going to work anyway. Wall will work when they're in a few thousands, maybe a million, but when they go to a billion, your wall is not going to work, it's going to be a tragedy, because now you see a stream of people coming. Well, can every nation just open up its borders and say, welcome, live on the streets? Not possible. Yes? So the thing to do is, which I've been striving to do and I'm failed to do, is in the last 25 years I've been trying to bring some key people in the world together so that this initially we started as 1%.com, and I try to create a board, and every time we are about to do it, some warlike situation comes and some nations back away and it never happened, all right? The idea was just this: 1% of what we invest in our defense forces, as we call them, arms and armaments, what we invest, if we contribute and we institute a board of people who are from responsible businesses to be given as soft loans to these businesses to start enterprises in impoverished societies where it's not profitable to do business. A business will naturally try to do business where it's most profitable. You cannot ask them to go and do business somewhere in one corner of Asia or Africa because they are looking at their profitability. Essentially, this attitude is because money is expensive. The money is expensive. If you give them a softer money, which is not expensive, for a gestation period of 12 to 20 years and very soft kind of cushion, for them to develop an enterprise, develop the talent and create industry and business in impoverished societies, the reason for these people to migrate will go. Instead of making that investment, you invest in putting up walls, you will see walls will work to a certain point. I'm not even saying it's wrong, because the sovereignty of a nation is essentially determined by the geographic borders. I'm not saying every nation can open up and let people inside, it's not possible to do that. But you will not be able to control it this way, nor is it very humane to do it that way. So the only way is, in some way we must see how economic disparity is lowered. We cannot level it absolutely, it's very, very far away, leveling it. But if we strive in the next 10 years, if there's enough investments going into various parts of the world from where people are migrating, if you start businesses there, if you start enterprises there, if you start economic activity there, then the need for them to go elsewhere to make a living could be reduced and migrations could be controlled, because nobody wants to leave their homeland if they can make a living there.
So if I may turn to our audience, the first question is from Jitendra Khanna, who is an ex-WHO employee. And the question is, physicists have concluded, as of now, that the universe is deterministic. So, is there free will for humans, or is free will an illusion?
See, right now, all of you sitting here, whether you sit here in a pleasant manner next to the person who is sitting next to you, or you abuse them, or you stab them, or you throttle them, is it by your will or is it by some universal law? I'm asking. Hello? Is it by your free will or no? Whether you look at them wonderfully or you look at them nasty, is it by free will or is it because of something else? The way the planets are spinning. Lot of people thought so forever, because people think they are the way they are because of the way the stars are moving right now. Unfortunately, a whole lot of stars they're looking at don't even exist, they're gone long time ago. but they are determining your future and your life. So, I see many Indian origin faces. In India, we have something called as karma. Today it's become an English word. In the Oxford English Dictionary, it is an English word, so I can use this word. Karma means action. Action means this. When you sit here, your body is doing its own things, it's acting, that's why we are alive. Mind is doing its own things. Our emotions are doing its own things. Our life energies are doing their own things. Every moment of your life, in wakefulness and sleep, these four dimensions of activity or karma are happening, isn't it? Hello?
Yes.
From the time you woke up today morning to now, whatever number of hours, if you are a 12 o'clock person, it is just 6 hours. If you're a 6 o'clock person, it is 12 hours. In this 12 or 6 hours that you've been awake, how much of your physical, mental, emotional and energy activity has been a conscious process? Hello? How much do you think? Believe me, it's well below 1%. So when 99% of your activity is unconscious, obviously you think something is hitting you from elsewhere. If you make 10% of what's happening in body, mind, energy conscious, suddenly people around you think you're a superhuman being. Yes, people think you're superhuman, you're determining everything. If 100% it is determined by you, they'll start worshipping you godlike. Because all that happened is, you became more conscious. And the significance of being human is that we can be conscious. See, if you look at the nature and activity of your life, you're not very different from other creatures on this planet. They are born, you're born, they eat, you grow up, they grow up, you sleep, they sleep, you reproduce, they reproduce, you die, they die. It's just that they do it more gracefully, you do it with lot of fuss. So, your activity and the life that you do is not very different from other creatures. Only thing is, we can do the same things consciously. That's all the big thing about us, isn't it? Hello?
Yes.
That is all the big thing about us. We can eat, sleep, reproduce and even die consciously. This is the big dimension of being human. So if you do not exercise this one thing, it is an evolutionary problem. You're going backwards in evolution. The life is striving to go forward. This is not your or my intention. Life is naturally striving to move forward. When you were a monkey, I'm sorry, this is not my statement. Charles, that Englishman, you know.
Yes.
Charles Darwin said this, when you were a monkey, you did not desire to become a human being, but the life within you is longing to move on to the next possibility. Out of that, we are a consequence. Hello? So the consequence is not of physical super capabilities as Hollywood movies are trying to show. Essentially, the consequence is we are more conscious. Because physically, if you become, let's say, far more capable than a chimpanzee or far more capable than a cheetah or a panther or something, you would just be a super animal. You became human only because you became more conscious than other creatures. If you do not exercise that consciously all the time, you will fall back in no time.
Thank you. So now we have a question from Nilufar Bawa, former employee of the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria. What is the future of our planet? We are running out of water. The glaciers are melting. What happens when we run out of water? Will mankind and life go extinct on Earth?
We are not running out of water. Million years ago, how much water was there on this planet? Still the same amount of water is here. Only if some men go off to Mars, they will take some water and go.
Yes.
Otherwise, the same amount of water is here, it's not gone anywhere. It's not where you want it. That is something that you need to look at. Why is it? Why is water going away from human habitations? Why is it lodging itself somewhere else? Obviously, we are not living the way we should live. Very simple. Hello? We always went in pursuit of water. Where there was a river, civilizations developed. But now water is trying to move away from us. We must be doing something fundamentally wrong. Hello? Isn't it? We are doing something very fundamentally wrong in the way we are organizing human habitations. We need to look at this seriously now, very important. Otherwise, you have to go and live under the ocean, because that's the only place there will be water.
Thank you. So I stay on water, and this one comes from Sasang Pai, a cognizant. I came to know the Isha Foundation through Rally for Rivers. Please could you enlighten us on the possibility in progress and how we can contribute?
Oh. I think they showed something on the video about Rally for Rivers. We made a 760-page policy recommendation as to how Indian rivers should be managed, because on an average, all Indian rivers on an average have depleted about 40% in the last 70 years. Some rivers have receded over 60 to 70%, major rivers. We must understand this, the European rivers are of a different nature and Indian rivers are of a completely different nature. Here largely the precipitation comes in the form of rain and also snow. And glacial water is probably the main source. I believe about 55 to 60% of European rivers are coming from glacial waters. In India, only 4% of river water is glacial, rest of it is forest-fed. River is not the source of water in a tropical land. River is a destination into which the water comes. The only source of water we have is monsoon. And this monsoon pours down in 45 to 50 days in a year. What comes down in 50 days? All in the form of water, not in the form of snow. Because snow will pile up and stay for 2 months and slowly melt and trickle into the land. That is not how monsoons come. Monsoons come like a torrent of water, all liquid. So how do we hold it? We were holding it because there was substantial vegetation everywhere. So vegetation and the richness of the soil held it and slowly let it go in the form of streams and rivulets which all joined together and became a river. But we have removed green cover in such a way, if you have flown over India, if you fly from Delhi to Chennai or Bangalore, if every 5 minutes you look down, it looks like one brown desert, except for the Western Ghats and a few patches here and there, rest is all farmed totally. Because there is no vegetation and there is no richness in the soil, we are not able to hold the water. When the rains come, there is flood, otherwise there is drought. At the same time, at the upper regions of the river, there is flood, the lower regions of the river, there is drought at the same time, at a given time. This phenomena is happening mainly because of removal of vegetation. To what extent means you must understand this. For example, Ganga Basin, where it accounts for 25% of India's geography, 33% of India's agriculture, we have removed 92% of green cover in the last 60 years. What's the plan? So Rally for Rivers mainly is pushing towards putting back at least 1/3 of the green cover back on the Indian subcontinent. So right now, as a sample of that, we are doing one short river which is 54 kilometers, which unfortunately became notorious as the suicide capital of India, which is called as Yavatmal in Maharashtra, where maximum number of suicides happen. Almost every third family we meet has had a suicide in their families. So, we have taken this up hands-on project, where recently the cabinet approvals have happened and we are working on the ground. Our volunteers are meeting every family. 9,600 families in the Yavatmal region are being contacted and given a cell phone number. In case of any distress, they can get back to us. The fundamental is to change them from regular farming, where there is no scale. They're just scratching land which is 2 acres, 3 acres per family. They cannot invest enough in a 2-acre land. If they invest, they become debt-ridden and drives them towards suicide. So we are seeing how to make them an integrated way of approach, and also towards agroforestry, which will revive the river. A larger project that's coming up, which all of you can participate in whatever way you can, because we need a big push for this, is called Kaveri Calling. Kaveri is a river which flows mainly between two southern states, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. These two states have been at war with each other as to who should drink more Kaveri water. See, if there were 2 glasses of water for both of us, we will drink our water and be nice to each other. Suppose there's only 1 glass of water between the two of us. We're nice people, but we'll fight. Yes or no?
Probably. But
Yes,
I'm sure you won't.
No, if there's no water, I will also fight. I'm saying, people will fight, isn't it? Because of scarcity, people will fight. Even nice people will unnecessarily clash with each other. This is what has been happening. Here we have removed 87% of the green cover. Kaveri is very dear to me because I grew up around this river. Once I floated down this river for 13 days on just 4 truck tubes and a few bamboos. I lived off the river. In my experience, I never saw this river and fantastic forest that was around as natural resource. I always experienced this as a life larger than myself. It's a much bigger life than you and me. And it has been there before you and me, and it should be there after you and me. But right now we brought it to a place where it may not be there. What's been there for 1,000,000 years may not be there for the next generation. We're bringing it to that place. Right now the scientific studies show Kaveri has depleted 46%, but I don't agree with this because they are taking the monsoon flow also as the volume of water. If you leave the monsoon flow, if you just go and see the river after October, in my eyes, it seems like it's 25 to 30% of what it was when I was a child around that place. So it's depleted so sharply, it's been troubling me. So now we are doing this. This is a rally of a different kind. The Rally for Rivers was purely an awareness, because river is a concurrent subject in India between the central government and the state government. We wanted to bring that concurrence, which we managed for the first time. The 16 states at that time were ruled by 6 different political parties. For the first time, they came together on one cause. Otherwise, opposition parties have always been, whatever one says, the other will say just the reverse of it. This is how it's been. But they came together and spoke in one voice, which itself was a tremendous thing. It showed the maturity that there is, in spite of the daily fighting that happens, when real issues come, they stood up for one cause. That was fantastic. 162 million people supported this cause in 30 days' time. I personally drove 9,300 kilometers, 142 events. Literally, we were on the road 30 days non-stop driving and talking ourselves hoarse. But this did the job. Now, the Rally for Rivers recommendation became the official recommendation for the 29 states, that the government sent this as an official recommendation. 3 to 4 states are very proactive, they're going and doing their own thing, which is very good. Another 6 states we've signed MOUs, but now we need a large-scale demonstration. See, the important aspect of this is, we are shifting farmers from 3-month, 4-month crop pattern to agroforestry, which will multiply the farmer's income. Right now, we have transformed 69,760 farmers into agroforestry, and their incomes have multiplied 5 to 8 times in a matter of 10 years' time. So this multiplication of income will happen. Why I'm saying this is an economic plan with a significant ecological impact. That is what is important, because the moment you talk ecology, all the businesses become cautious because these guys are going to come and bash us. All ecologists or ecological activists always trying to hit some industry or some business. So this is what I want to change, and this is what we have successfully changed is economy and ecology have to go hand in hand. If you pit one against the other, if you pit one against the other, economy will win hands down, ecology will be battered. So that is what has been happening, especially now in India, because we are looking for an economic surge. We are talking about becoming a $5 trillion economy. When we go like this, there is a possibility ecology could be trampled. So we are working with the governments because it's very, very important. This is something always, at least in India, the people who represent ecological concerns have never worked with the governments, always against the government. If you're serious about doing something, you have to work with the government. There's simply no other way. Well, there may be compromises because they have their own concerns, they have their own political and budgetary issues and various other dimensions are there, not just some ideal that we hold. So this is a new trend that we have created, that ecological concerns are not of… People have always treated like this. Economy is today's concern, ecology is tomorrow's concern. I'm saying ecology and economy are today's concern and they have to go hand in hand. So if you want to support in some way, Kaveri Calling will start in September. Just to tell you how it is being done, this time we are on a motorcycle. A group of us are riding down 1,500 kilometers, nearly 1,500 kilometers down the river, camping on the river, creating about 35 events along the way. We are asking for the governments to give an incentive for farmers to shift from regular farming, which destroys riverine terrain, into agroforestry. This is yet to happen. Both the governments are examining the budgetary proposals that we have given. Whether it comes through or not, if it comes through, we will go propagating the benefits the government is offering, the incentives. If it doesn't, we use it as a people's movement to push the government towards that policy. But this has to be done now. What I see is, if we don't do this in the next 12 to 15 years' time, I think particularly southern region, right now it is the most water-distressed region is Tamil Nadu, and it's also entering Karnataka in a big way. I think it's a clear manifestation, we don't care a damn about our children and their children, how they live here. It's a very clear statement as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to leave that statement.
Thank you. So this question takes us more explicitly to yoga. Yoga seems to be the current buzzword, from exercise as asanas to meditation for body and mind well-being. How exactly do you define yoga?
Oh, I thought we've done plenty of that. Yoga means union. Even the chant we did was just that. You do it somehow, okay? You do it with austerity, or you do it in a pleasurable way, you do it sitting alone in a mountain, or you do it being with everybody, somehow. How the hell you do it, it doesn't matter. Somehow, you should become like this, that if you sit here, your experience of being alive is fantastic. Nothing need to happen. If you sit here, you're alive and it's fantastic. Is it… let me tell you this. Right now, what is the most important thing in your life? Your bank balance, your business, your family, your relationships, what you're planning, or you're alive right now? Which is most important? Hello? You're alive right now, that is the most important thing, isn't it? So you do this much, I'll teach you a simple yoga right now. Tomorrow morning, if you do wake up, see, you think it's a joke. You're thinking it's a joke. No, mortality is not a joke. This is the problem with most people. Most people think other people die. No, you and me will die. Hello? You and me will die, isn't it? I'll bless you with a long life, but still you die with a blessing, isn't it? Mortality is a real thing. Every day, nearly 250,000 people don't wake up tomorrow morning, by natural process. So in case you wake up tomorrow morning, check if you're still alive. If you are, will you give yourself one big smile? You're still alive? Hello? Hello, will you do that? And every day, if 250,000 people die, at least 5 to 10 million people would have lost someone who's dear to them. You check those 5–10 people who matter to you. If they're all alive, will you give yourself one more smile? Hello? To yourself, not to somebody. All of them are alive today, all the people who matter to you immediately. Will you give yourself one more smile? It is 7 o'clock and you're still alive. Please understand this, what is ticking away is not a clock, it's your life which is ticking away. Since you came and sat here, you're 2 hours closer to your grave. Hello? Yes or no? Mortality is a real thing. If you're conscious of it, then you will make the best out of this. You think you're eternal, then you live like a fool. You have time for all kinds of idiotic things. If you know life is ticking away, you will do the best things that you can do, isn't it? Hello? You will not do the best thing, you will do the best things that you can do, and this is all we can do. In your life, if you do not do what you cannot do, that's not the issue. But if you do not do what you can do, you're a disastrous life. So yoga means to avoid this disaster.
So, this question takes us to education, and it comes from Meenakshi Bana of the Bluebell School International in New Delhi. What can schools do to inculcate ethical living in a joyful way?
The moment you have lot of ethics, your face becomes long. Because it's like this. Let's say there is an ethic, thou shalt not kill for me. So I'm just holding my hands back, but I want to kill. But why do I want to kill? Why is it that I want to kill? We must look at it more fundamentally, isn't it? Rather than stopping it with a value that I set for my… no, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. So please understand this. Just try this right now. Shall we try an experiment with your mind? Next 30 seconds, nobody should think of a monkey. Try. Please close your eyes and try. Oh, only monkeys, isn't it? This is the nature of your mind. In your mind, if you say, I will not, only that will go on. Why are you making life so difficult? Why do you think you are born wrong and you have to be fixed? No. You think creation has made a mistake with you? Hello? You think creation has made a mistake with you? No. It's fine, the life the way it is fine. You become something because you imbibe all kinds of nonsense from other people. You call this religion, you call this education, you call this morals, you call this values, you call this philosophies, ideologies. For religions and ideologies and philosophies, we have killed more people than for crime, isn't it so? Hello?
Absolutely.
So, all these morals, ethics, values, philosophies, ideologies are only an effort to prevent crime. But in the end, these preventive measures have caused more death and horror on this planet than crime would cause, isn't it? So why do you think I would like to steal what is in your pocket? I don't care, first of all. Why are you telling me thou shalt not steal? I never thought of stealing anything from you. All this comes because you are in pursuit of happiness. That's the problem. Have you seen every one of you? When you're very joyful, what a wonderful human being you are. But if you're a little angry, frustrated, miserable, you're nasty. Yes or no? So this is what we need to create. We have been always trying to produce good human beings, which is a terrible mistake. We need more joyful and sensible human beings. This is what yoga is about. Joy is an insurance. Joy is an insurance. When you're joyful, you want to kill somebody? Hello? Only when you're miserable you want to kill somebody, isn't it?
Thank you. Now, I think if I'm reading, we're coming to a… Maybe we have one last one, perhaps? Okay. There are many questions, but a last one from Hiranjani at Biz. Spirituality, and I think you've just been addressing this to some extent, spirituality and religion are often misunderstood at all levels. How could you explain the difference and the overlap in easy-to-understand terms?
Spirituality
and religion.
Religion. See, if you say I'm religious, you naturally identify yourself as a believer, isn't it? Hello? That you believe something, whatever that is. What is belief? Let's look at this. Something that you do not know, you assume. And if 10 of us assume that, this is my religion.
We hope this video has been a source of inspiration for you. Be sure to check out our other content and share your wisdom with the world.